Good morning. I'm Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. This is my first full check in on the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of self. And we have an understanding that as we look at these energies that are within ourselves, what we're really seeing in our outside world is that energy reflected back to us. So we can glean things from people in real life, but only because they're a reflection of who we are inside of ourselves. So if you want changes, if you want to see changes, you definitely have to make those changes first. You have to kind of do some detective work and figure out exactly how it is that you are sort of engaging in the behaviors that you don't want to see reflected back at you. And that's what I help us do every day. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with the divine feminine. We're going to look at the top of the deck, the overall forefront of her mind, Eight of Wands this morning. So we have a divine feminine who is feeling this momentum. She's feeling a lot of forward motion and that things are picking up. We also, based on the storyline, and if you've been following this storyline on Instagram, which I check in every single day on Instagram Live, we're just switching to a new platform today. Based on this story, what we're seeing is that she potentially has sent her own messages, which is interesting because I think her heart space was telling her to be quiet yesterday. The reason why I think it's about her sending messages and not about her receiving messages is because the bottom of the deck, the niggling thought in the back of her mind, is the Four of Swords in reverse. So to me, that looks like a broken silence. And the fact that it's niggling, she might feel that she has a little bit of disappointment in herself that she broke the silence because she really wanted to maintain the silence until divine masculine actually approached her. So I think that is becomes something that has upset her a little bit. She's not super happy about that. So the other thing is she's hoping that in having broken her silence, that she will now see these messages from divine masculine coming to her, which remains to be seen with this particular divine masculine. We'll find out where he is in his headspace. All right. Let's flip over all of her cards here and take a look at her headspace. First thing on her mind, the pause, the dream, the escape, but positive associations, meditation, contemplation. I do have a strong sense that this divine feminine right now at this time, which we are really, that motion from that Eight of Wands energy is applicable because we are really heading in this direction for this divine couple. Something is going to happen for them. Like we're definitely feeling this real motion. It's been, building up and building up and building up. Something is going to happen, but there isn't anything happening at the moment. So there is this pause that we're in, and divine feminine is taking that opportunity to connect with nature in some cases, connect with her higher self. She's working on this cup, filling that cup up. She understands that she must do this. But today I'm seeing also a focus on the past, and she's kind of moving through sadness and maybe doing a little bit of escapism to counter that sadness that she's feeling. The next thing on her mind, though, is victory. So she's desiring this victory with divine masculine and with herself. She's wanting to be victorious over the sad energy, the past energy that has gone between them. And she's hoping that these messages that she's sending, the silence that she broke, will do something to propel them to a new place. And she's really, really working very hard on trying to just be positive, in that space where she's in this meditative state and she's really thinking about things that are going on, and kind of, even if she is focused on the past, really trying to make a new future, like imagine a new future where this victory is hers and it's shared. Now, interestingly, that same energy, that Four of Swords, coming out of that Four of Swords, which of course is a pause, we're also seeing her coming out of this Hanged Woman energy that she was in a few days ago. And in having come out of this energy where she surrendered to the divine, she has gained perspective. But the perspective that she's gained has actually brought her some sadness. And we're going to see that in a moment. There also here is a resistance. I see a desire to surrender to the divine, but a resistance to do it because I think that divine feminine is being pessimistic. This is the perspective that was gained when she initially went into the surrender. I think she is being pessimistic. We see her there reflecting upon this sadness. This Five of Cups is clarifying the Four of Cups. So we've got Four of Cups kind of focused on the past and looking at those spilled cups, and then extending that into the Five, being a little bit even more sad, not as reflective upon the two full cups right now, really more focused on the spilled cups, and kind of resisting the divine and resisting the surrender to like letting this pessimism go. She's having a really hard time doing this. She worked all week on releasing her material attachment to a specific divine masculine. And that has really caused her to go into a place where she doesn't really know now what to do. Hence the, desire to surrender and the resistance because she's afraid. She's afraid if she truly is in this place of surrender, then what she has hoped for, what she has dreamed in that Four of Cups energy, the things that she has imagined might not come to pass. And this is really a great burden for her. But remember, when we hit the 10 of Wands, we are hitting an ending. It's a time when you get to put down these burdens. And it's no coincidence that this is the clarifying card for this Six of Wands. And I love the Mystic Mondays deck for Divine Feminine Headspace because remember, this is about energy, not necessarily gender. But I like that the imagery here is about her burdens and her victory. And she does understand that as she puts down the burden of carrying this desire to be with this specific manifestation of the divine masculine, she is liberating herself by putting down these burdens. And even though she is worried and needing to surrender because of her pessimism right now, that the dreams that she's had are not going to come to pass, she does understand that as she puts this down, she will be victorious. As she truly relinquishes this attachment, she will be coming into her balance within self, which is, of course, what we're seeking here when we look at these readings. Yes, we're trying to find information about a specific divine masculine or a divine feminine, no matter what the gender is that we would like to be with. But ideally, what we're really looking at is what is going on inside of ourselves that is putting us into these situations where we're getting reflected back to us things that we don't want, messages about our worthiness or lack of worthiness, etc. So she's smart. She does know that if I put these burdens down, if I put this material attachment down, if I release this sadness that I'm feeling because of my dreams potentially not coming to pass, I'm going to be okay. But in order to do that, I really need to be the Queen of Swords. I need to embody this energy right now. I can't be breaking silence with a divine masculine, or actually not even a divine masculine, a specific manifestation of the masculine who I'm associating with my divine masculine energy. If I continue to keep breaking my silence with someone who is not expressing to me, because remember, this masculine is not expressing, he is not communicating, he is not telling her how he feels in his own words with this mouth hole, right? He is using other means of communicating, subtle indication, hints, things that drive divine feminine crazy, literally make her feel like, am I crazy? Did I make this all up? Did I dream this all up? Is this just a bunch of bullshit? Like everything that I've imagined is just completely bullshit, right? That is how she feels when she receives these messages from divine masculine, which really don't even embody true messages at all, right? So not great, okay? Not great. And she's going into the light and the shadow traits a little bit of this Queen of Swords energy. The light traits being the ability to strategize, to come up with a plan, to be able to, and that is what she's gained this perspective about. When she went into her Hanged Woman energy, she gained this perspective on what she needs to do to go forward, to be able to embrace her own victory over these burdens that she's been putting down. So she's gained perspective and she understands that she needs to embody this Queen of Swords energy, be very clear-headed, be very direct, command, in complete conquering her emotions, really. Remember, Queen of Cups is in command of her emotions, her emotions, and Queen of Swords is in has conquered them, right? They don't have power over her. So she's wanting that. But the shadow traits of the Queen of Swords are in that gesture she's making. You know, it's not as welcoming as Smith Waite, where we've kind of got this hand like turned a bit. It's like, I'll allow you to appear before me. No. This one is a lot more like, no, you are not allowed right now until you come at me in your integrity, in your King of Swords energy, with truth and directness. I have to remain silent, right? I have to remain silent. I need messages that reveal to me truth, right? So I'm going to stay in that Queen of Swords energy until I see what I intend to see, right? Okay. Now let's look at her heart space. So that deck was Mystic Mondays, and now we're going to use the Crow Tarot for heart space. Top of the deck, overall feeling of her heart space is our Knight of Swords. So this is who she's seeking. This is who she is wanting to come forward towards her. Somebody who's going to take swift action to reveal truth with new behaviors, a new idea. We've had a Knight of Wands energy for the longest time. She's like over it. She doesn't want it. There is a bit of recklessness to the Knight of Swords, but he's following a plan. Whatever strategy the Queen of Swords put into place, the Knight of Swords is following this plan. Now, remember, we're looking at the balance in ourselves. So yes, we want a divine masculine, or rather a manifestation of this masculine, to come to us with the truth and new behaviors, new ideas about this reunion that we're so hoping to have. But it's really about what she needs to do for herself. She needs to have taken that perspective she's gained from surrendering and actually stop resisting surrendering, surrender more, and gain more perspective, and bring a new idea to her balance within herself. So she needs to be the Knight of Swords for herself. She needs to cut through the bullshit that she's been receiving and have truth in herself. So there's that. The niggling feeling in the back of her mind is the Emperor in reverse. So she's thinking about this divine masculine energy. She's thinking about really, well, it's not thinking. I shouldn't say thinking, feeling. She's feeling the divine masculine energy because this is our heart space. She's feeling that this Emperor is releasing his shadow traits, or that he must release these shadow traits of rigidity, stubbornness, and, dictatorial control. But there's also motion here in this card, because this is a card that's very grounded, it's very stable, and we're seeing it reverse. We're seeing something that has been planted there finally getting up and moving. So as he's releasing this controlling behavior that he has and the stubbornness that he has, which is really, he's only willing to do this his way. He is not willing to work with divine feminine. He really just works against himself all the time and against the union by refusing to consider any new ideas. And this is what is keeping them in this impasse, right? He refuses to consider any new potential possibilities. It is his plan, and that is the plan, his way or the highway. And that must be released. Because divine feminine is desiring a Knight of Cups, and she's not getting it. She wants the new idea, the new behavior she wants is a Knight of Cups with a full cup, able to express. Remember, in the cups, we've got the Page of Cups, which is like this pure, innocent, heartfelt, loving energy, very kind of goofy, kind of awkward, very immature. Maturing into the Knight of Cups, who's really able to express, because the Knight of Cups doesn't have as much responsibility as the King of Cups, who must maintain this calm and collected appearance so that he can rule without causing any panic, right? He has to be able to, he is compassionate, he is kind, he is caring, he is just, he is all of those nurturing, sensitive aspects of this watery cups energy, but he's in command of his emotions and he doesn't express them. But the Knight of Cups can. And so Divine Feminine is seeking this new behavior from Divine Masculine, which would be finally being to express his feelings for her and bring in this reunion, this Two of Cups, the union between the lovers, this potential for them to share these cups, to reveal what has been going on for them in person, break bread together, and really have this, I mean, this is like Kundalini energy and eternal strength of this union. So she's really longing for this night to do this. Here's some union with Headspace. We have, hang on one second. We have the Four of Cups in Headspace and the Four of Cups upright in Heart Space. So we have a tuned in feminine here. She is definitely feeling that she is needing to be in meditation and contemplation and connected with nature. Now the Heart Space, very interesting, right? The Headspace is looking forward at us. Now, she's in meditation here, of course, but what is before her are these three cups, right? And we were seeing that moving into the five, which is a focus on spilled cups, right? Or cups that are empty instead of full, and kind of ignoring this cup here. Look at her heart, though. Her heart is focused on the cup that comes from spirit, on the connection to the divine, and understanding that as she fills this cup, the cup for Divine Masculine is filled as well. Now think about this resistance, right? This Knight of Cups, really wanting this Knight of Cups to come in, but he's resisting expressing. What's very interesting about that is Divine Feminine in her head is resisting this offer, right? She's not looking at it. She's not focused on it. She's pessimistic about it. She doesn't think it's going to come. She thinks she's made this up and it's all this dream and it's not going to happen. But her heart space knows, right? Her heart space is wise and feels that what she must do in this place where she's meditating and connecting is she must start to open herself to receive the cup. Because, honey, this card being in reverse is not about your material manifestation of your masculine being incapable of expressing so much as it is about you being incapable of receiving. Hate to tell you, that's what it's about. So her heart is smart. It's as smart as her brain. It feels intuitively that she must open herself to this offer. Allow it to come in. If you're in your Queen of Swords energy, with that hand up, you're not allowing, right? You're trying to control. Now, you do need to have some guidance over your thoughts, but not control. You can't control your thoughts. You can only reach for better feeling ones. You just have to guide yourself through that, right? But she needs to open herself up to receive. This is exciting. This is the World card, and it is upright. And there is peace, and there is completion here. And the completion comes from allowing that cup, receiving that cup. Remember, the balance between the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, which is energy, not gender, is there is one who gives and one who receives. Now, in reality, I'm going to wipe my camera off because it's driving me crazy. There we go. It's a little better. In reality, there will be times when a gendered individual will give and a gendered individual will receive, regardless of what their gender is. This doesn't mean that men give and women receive and men are from Mars and women are from Venus, like whatever. No, that's not what this means. It means that you embody this energy, this law of polarity that exists, right? Giving and receiving. So there is a completion here to this cycle. As she opens and allows this reception of this cup from this Knight of Cups, the cycle will be completed. And she's being very brave right now. This is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords picks up that new idea, picks up that truth, that clarity that they have received from that Ace energy, which they have gone inside and gone into their head and started to tune in and suss things out and kind of figure out, okay, this new information that I have, like, I don't know exactly what it means. I don't know how to wield it, but I'm going to be brave and I'm going to do this no matter what. Like, that is really what you're seeing here for Divine Feminine. The new idea, the truth is in regards to this Two of Cups, right? Because this is clarifying this Two of Cups energy. So she is really feeling that she is going to be brave. She's going to be, I always use this scene to reference this card. If you're a Harry Potter fan like me, I have his birthday. I'm a big fan. The scene for Harry Potter where he comes out from behind the tombstone in book 4, I think, and fights Voldemort with one spell. Like, he really only has Expelliarmus, which, like, of course, who would think to use that against Voldemort? Well, only a page would, because a page wouldn't really have a whole bunch of sophisticated nonverbal spells under his command, right? He's just starting out. But Harry is brave enough to face Voldemort because he doesn't want to just keel over and die, right? He wants to go out fighting. And so he picks up that sword, even though he doesn't know how to wield it, in this case his wand, and he steps out from that tombstone and he just puts his faith and trust in his ancestors, and he defeats Voldemort in that scene, or at least escapes him. So she's in the same place. She is willing to step out and fight off these feelings of doubt and pessimism, complete this cycle, receive this message so that she can finally come into this Two of Cups reunion with a healed, matching Divine Masculine, somebody that matches her energy. Now, we have the Seven of Cups that kept coming up so much in the last few readings that I've been doing, and it's back. It's in reverse, though, and it is the final thought in her heart space. Well, not final thought, final feeling of her heart space, except she's overfeeling today. I usually do 6 cards for head and heart, and if we get extra cards popping out, then we've got overthinking or overfeeling. Today, we've got overfeeling. This Seven of Cups energy in reverse is the clarifier for this Four of Cups as well. And what we're seeing with that energy is that she has chosen to receive this cup. Her heart is feeling this very strongly. She's not confused. She knows what she wants. She's not trying to sort out from all of her feelings. She's not overwhelmed by all of her feelings. She has many feelings. We've got 7 cards. We've got 7 cups. So she's very emotional. She's got a lot of emotions. But it's also clarifying this Queen of Swords card in her headspace. So she's using her head to counter the intense emotions she's feeling. The overwhelmed feeling she would usually have is really being worked with by that Queen of Swords energy that's like, no, I need you to be practical. I need you to focus on your foundation. I need you to focus on making sure, good morning, making sure that you have all of your shit together. Like, that's her Queen of Swords energy. I need you to conquer all of these emotions and feelings and choose to do what is best for yourself. What is best for yourself is receiving a full cup. If this manifestation of this Divine Masculine is not coming towards you, right, then you really must choose to fill your own cup. As you do that, there will be a matching masculine who will come towards you, right? She knows that. That's why that Queen of Swords is like, no, do not be overwhelmed by this sadness, by these feelings, by this nostalgia. Do not be overwhelmed. End this cycle by picking up this new idea you have about not being attached to a specific manifestation, and let that guide you. And trust and have faith also that you will see a union here between these twin flames. The final feeling that's over feeling for her is this Nine of Pentacles energy. So that is, again, she is choosing herself, because this is a card of self-indulgence, rewarding the self. It's you've worked very hard in your Eight of Pentacles energy, and now you get to experience this abundance. And you don't share that abundance with a miser. You don't share that with someone who is stingy, who doesn't give you feelings, who doesn't give you words, who doesn't express to you. He doesn't get to get that, or she, depending on gender. But that energy, that divine masculine energy, he doesn't get any of this. That's why that Queen of Swords is like, no, if you can't bring me your abundance, and by abundance, I do not mean just your money or wealth. I don't need it. I've got my own, right? That Queen of Swords energy, I've got my shit together. I know what I'm doing here, okay? I don't need your coin. I got my own coin. What I need from you is your cup. I need your cup. And I'm going to open myself and allow myself to receive that by meditating and reflecting on the ways I have been blocking this cup. Because as much as you want to blame this manifestation, and I know you do, you want to blame him. You want to be like, he is doing X or she is doing X or whatever. No, you are not open to receiving in some way. There is something inside of you that is still blocked. After we look at the divine masculine energy, we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at the oracle messages for you to help you unblock. All right. That's divine feminine. Let's see what divine masculine is thinking about. Okay. So one of the things we're looking for is mirroring and union. When we're seeing a lot of union, we're seeing that this manifestation is coming into the 3D. Mirroring, we're still working on healing kind of stuff going on, and we still have to shift into an energy where we're in union together. Although sometimes reversals can indicate certain types of union depending on the deck. I am going to use the Smith-Waite deck for the headspace of divine masculine, and the Cosmic Tarot, which is by Norbert Loesch, for the heart space for divine masculine. So let's get started. The top of the deck, the forefront of divine masculine's mind is, surprise, surprise, divine feminine. Queen of Wands, super attractive, very fiery, a lot of sexual energy here. This is a divine masculine who is really kind of thinking about the sexual attraction that he feels towards this divine feminine. He's also thinking about her fieriness and her tendency to get her really pissed off at him. And he's at the forefront in his mind right now. He's thinking about how much he wants her and how much he desires her. But I do feel him sensing that he has really pissed her off. And so he has some concern about that. And he is feeling a little bit unsure of how to proceed. But he really does want to approach her. But not yet. And that's what we're going to see in his headspace. We have got this. Now, listen, I listen to YouTube readings. I listen to Instagram readings and read Instagram readings every day. I am on the same journey that you are on. I am constantly waiting for this divine masculine to not be in the not yet. So I know the frustration of this feeling. I'm frustrated when I read it. My ego, when it's here, is like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, yeah, I get it. But remember, this is your divine masculine inside of yourself, right? The divine masculine inside of yourself is aware that it has pissed off the divine feminine part by not taking action, by sitting on a really solid offer and not moving forward. How are you doing that in your life? I know how I'm doing it. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to pick up that sword and really, really have clarity about the ways in which I fail to show up for myself. But I'm telling you, there is some way where you are doing that. Okay. The niggling thought in the back of his mind is this Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So we have a couple layers here. Number one, this is a divine masculine who is constantly focused on his coin, the material manifestations of his wealth. He's always really worried about it, focused on it, thinks he needs it to impress this divine feminine, which is just such bullshit, but whatever, that's what he's thinking. But in this case, we are also seeing the niggling thing being that I think there is a little bit of lack going on, thinking like he might not have enough because that's constantly a thing. But I also think it's him about realizing that he needs to release his focus on his career. He focuses on this material stuff and stays in the shadow traits of the Emperor energy, trying to control, trying to maintain that foundation, being stubbornly focused on the material at the expense of his queen. And he understands that his focus on these coins and the distribution of them and where they're going in his life. There might be an ex-partner here who is trying to get this. There might be legal contracts that have nothing to do with karmic partners, but just that he signed for his job or business or something that requires a lot of his attention. And he understands that his focus on this pisses off his Queen of Wands, and that he really must release this, honestly, old behavior that's about him feeling comfortable. Like he's used to that, right? He's like, I'm used to it, so I'm going to do it, right? And he's really working on just releasing that. First card up, the first thought in his mind is the Ace of Swords. Now, we had Divine Feminine ready to pick this sword up and wield it, being brave, right? She doesn't know what's coming. She doesn't know what's going to happen when she heads into the battle. The Page of Swords just picks up that Ace of Swords and heads directly into the battle, eyes closed, hoping that, they're going to stick something with the pointy end, like Game of Thrones style, right? Divine Masculine is not offering this. This is truth. This is directness. This is a new idea. This is clarity. And he's still not offering it. That's why we have a Divine Feminine who's in her Queen of Swords, because she's like, if he cannot bring me the truth, I cannot see him. I cannot see him, right? Next up in his mind is the Seven of Pentacles, but it is in reverse because he is definitely feeling that this pause where he has been waiting for that Eight of Pentacles energy to come to a fulfillment. He's really impatient with this. He has had to do this because for whatever reason, in order for him to feel confident, he absolutely has had to have all these coins in order, right? He planted the seeds. He wants this harvest to come, and it's taking so long, and he's very impatient about it. And that's why he's trying to release that niggling thought, this attachment to seeing these coins. He's just really trying to not need that anymore because he's so impatient with how long it's taking to see his dreams manifest. And he's also telling us right now that the reason he cannot bring this truth, the reason he cannot be direct is because he has to wait until he can harvest these fruits. Divine Feminine doesn't want to hear that because she doesn't know why. Because he hasn't told her anything. She has no idea why. So really, she's like, you just expect me to wait? First of all, I've already been waiting. For years, probably for some of us. So I'm already waiting this whole time. And now you're like, just wait a little longer. Just wait a little longer. Just wait a little longer. Well, how much longer, Divine Masculine, right? This is the anger from Divine Feminine. How much longer do I have to wait for this motion to pick up, for these messages to come? How the hell hard is it for you to tell me the truth? Why? Why, right? That's her energy. He can feel it. That's what he's picking up in that Queen of Wands energy. but he's doing his best to release his sadness. He's really trying to remain optimistic. He's trying not to focus on these filled cups and instead be mindful of this Two of Cups energy that Divine Feminine has in her heart space, right? That Two of Cups, which really is their union. And we have mirroring going on. Here's Divine Masculine working to release his sadness and be optimistic. And here's Divine Feminine kind of fully in her cups, focused on her sadness and having a hard time being optimistic. Now, here's the magic. The Divine Masculine part of self is releasing pessimism and focusing on the Two of Cups. Divine Feminine, as Divine Masculine does this, your energy will shift into union with him and you will both be in a state of optimism, no longer reflecting upon those spilled cups, fully focused on the Two of Cups as you shift your energy into union. So that will bring you that completion, right? That's clarifying that sadness card from your heart space. Next card up for Divine Masculine, the Hermit. Yeah, we know he's in the Hermit energy. We know he's isolated. We know he's not talking to us. And he's telling us that this is what is blocking him bringing in the truth. Not only does he have to wait for things to happen, but he's needing guidance on exactly how to do this. These truths are hard truths, right? These are not easy for him to express. These are hard truths, difficult truths. And it's new for him. It's nothing he's ever done before. This is not a Divine Masculine who was raised in the light of truth. He was raised in a means justify the ends kind of a behavior. And that you don't reveal truth unless it's to your benefit, to your advantage. You really manipulate the truth and others because you think you're doing the best thing for them. You maintain control over the situation. This is how he was taught to be. And so he's not entirely sure how to do something he's never done before. And he's smart. And he's going within and receiving this guidance. Now, for the Hermit energy for Divine Masculine, what is the light in this lantern? It's the star, right? It's illumination. It's a sliver of that star, which is a sliver of Divine Feminine, which is a sliver of understanding that comes from starting to know her, starting to understand her is what's helping him to understand himself. So he's being guided by this twin flame journey. He is extremely exhausted, but he's persevering because that is definitely the message of this card. He's tired. He's done a lot of this healing. He's built this fortress around himself in his Hermit energy to protect himself. And he's doing this against this impatience because he's having to wait for this manifestation. And he's very, very exhausted by it. And really feeling so frustrated as well. But knowing that he must heal. He can't come to Divine Feminine if he's not whole. The problem is that he's not communicating that. He might even watch these readings, just be like, well, she kind of gets it. Like, I don't really need to explain it. I mean, she's got insight. She's psychic. She picks up what I'm putting down pretty much. But living in a state of assumption is never a positive state to be in for either one of these twins. So he's exhausted, but he's got to do this healing. I'm exhausted. Here we have another mirror. The Eight of Wands. So like I said, Divine Feminine might have sent some messages and she's expecting messages in return, but I wouldn't hold my breath because Divine Masculine is not planning to send these messages anytime too soon. He is, however, being optimistic that he will be able to shift into a place where he can send these messages to Divine Feminine once what he is waiting for has come to pass. He is afraid that it might be too late. And I don't blame him because we have a Divine Feminine who is really not interested in dealing with bullshit anymore. She is ready to attract a masculine energy of any shape or form. She has released this attachment to the specific masculine, which has made her sad. That's what makes her sad. What makes her sad is that she had these dreams about the specific one, and it seems like he's not actually going to match her energy. And she can't wait for him because this is where divine feminine is at. The motion is there. That fast moving energy is there in her. And if he cannot match her, there is no match here. That's the sadness. Remember, we're looking at divine masculine's headspace. These are his thoughts. Our thoughts aren't always in tune with our heart. So let's check his heart space and see, does his heart feel he can't send these messages yet? Let's see. Because usually what we have is divine feminine's head is sort of being like, okay, fear's in the heart space, like, hold on a tick, right? And divine masculine's heart is like, okay, fear's in the head space, the worry in the head space, like, hold on a tick, like, here's the reality here, right? All right. The reason why I'm saying his heart space is not in agreement with his head space also, and I didn't even realize it until I just focused on the card, but I must have seen it and like not internalized it. The top of the deck, overall feeling of his heart space is the Chariot, which is forward motion. And it's balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine together, heading in this direction to be one. And it's the ego relinquishing the control that we see coming from that emperor energy, which is what divine feminine is feeling that divine masculine must do. He must release this control of this ego and allow the divine to direct things. And if the divine is in the driver's seat, well, then, honey, this is going to be fast moving energy, right? So we actually have his heart space that feels the forward motion towards his desire, which is to be united with divine feminine and to be whole, right? So here we go. He's setting off on that journey. He's balanced. But the niggling feeling, it's actually good. We have the Five of Swords from the Cosmic Tarot deck right now. And we have somebody who's just kind of laid down and died kind of a look. This is a card about defeat. But my feeling is that divine masculine is not willing to be defeated because he has that forward motion feeling in his heart space. He's really willing to drive that chariot into this battle and fight for this divine feminine so that that actual material manifestation that he desires will be in his 3D world. And who is that? It's the Queen of Pentacles. This is the first feeling in his heart space. Our queen. She's not upright yet. She's in reverse because he's feeling that as she's releasing this 3D manifestation, so too must he. Now, when you hear that, you start to get afraid because I know I do. My ego's like, oh, but I want to be with him. I'm going to lose him if I release him. And no, you're not going to lose him if you release him. You really are going to get him if you release him. That cannot be your intention for release. If your intention is like, I want him, so I'm going to release him and then I'll get him. No, it has to come from a place where you realize that your attachment to a specific manifestation is holding you back. As soon as you release, as soon as you take that dream space, that Four of Cups energy that you are in and release it, you open up the space to receive a cup. Before you did that, you were attached and you were in a state of wanting. And because of the law of attraction, you cannot be in a state of wanting and a state of having simultaneously. You must experience the desire and the want. You must release the desire and you must just acknowledge it and be like, oh, I want that. And then you must not cling to that desire and grasp that desire and insist that that is the thing that will make you whole, because that is just your ego, right? You release that desire. As you release, as you acknowledge that you had that desire and that's what you wanted, and surrender and just believe and have faith, what I want or better will come to me because I asked for it. Release and have. Now you can have it because you are no longer attached to it anymore. That is the magic. Divine Masculine is working to do that same thing. Now, also remember, Queen of Pentacles, that didn't even have to show up. That did not even have to show up. It could have been any card in the deck, in any placement in this spread. But it showed up as the first thing in his heart space. And even though it's in reverse, which means I'm not able to approach her as of yet, it didn't have to be here. So he definitely has a specific manifestation in mind. And that is you. That is you, for sure. You both kind of know who you are at this point in this collective. Now, this Queen of Pentacles in the heart space is clarifying this Ace of Swords in reverse. So he's also fully aware that until he shifts this energy and brings her truth, he cannot be with this queen. So we're stuck in this reversed position. But remember, the niggling feeling is I am not going to be defeated by being stuck. These swords are not pinned into me. I'm not like a butterfly pinned down to the ground here. These swords are all around me. I have only to pick them up and begin to fight, right? He just has to pick up the swords. The next thing we have in his heart space is transformation and rebirth, the death card. I know it looks intimidating and it can represent death. It can represent the passing away of a material manifestation. And it should, because that is what he is needing to kill. He needs to get rid of this manifestation. He needs to do the same work that Divine Feminine just did and release his attachment. He has to convince himself that he is whole without a 3D manifestation, that he is healed on his own in that Nine of Wands energy, that he is completely healed on his own. He must transform this belief that this Divine Feminine completes him. She does not complete him. She reflects a whole version of himself. As she heals, he heals, and so on. But they are two separate individuals. If you have actual twins from the actual 3D world together and you ask them, hey, do you feel like you're the same as your twin? They would be like, fuck no. Like, I'm a completely, totally individual person. My parents dressed us in matching identical clothes for years, and it's like cute on Halloween, but like, dude, I am me. Like, I have all my own thoughts, feelings, energies, and everything about me. My twin is my twin, my reflection of me, but they are themselves a whole being. It's the same here. Divine Masculine must embrace this lesson. Divine Feminine is him, just like we are everyone. We are all one. But she is her own thing, and he is his own thing, and he must be whole within himself and kill that idea that this specific manifestation is somehow going to make him feel fulfilled. We have here the Princess of Wands, which is Page of Wands energy. So this is excitement. He is feeling excited. He is feeling excited because he is willing to go through this transformation right now. He also sensed that Divine Feminine has done this, which caused him to be sad. But remember, he's releasing that sadness. He's not focusing on the negative things, on the spilled cups. He wants to, but he's not allowing himself to do that. He's really coming out of the space where he's pessimistic and moving into a place of optimism. And that heart space, he's excited. He's excited for what is to come because he's doing something very beautiful, very beautiful. He's trusting his intuition. We have the High Priestess energy here. Wow. Trusting in his intuition. We have the Hermit card. That is in his headspace being clarified by this heart space, which is going within and trusting your intuition, trusting Divine Feminine energy, which is, remember, that sliver of that star I told you about here in this lantern. This is bringing him closer to his truth. Now, when he gets to his truth, what can he do? He can reveal it. Here is the Seven of Swords. We are constantly getting the Seven of Swords energy from this Divine Masculine. Hiding energy, masked energy, sly, clever, strategizing energy. But we're seeing a reversal on this. We're seeing a transformation of this energy. And we are seeing that this is what is going on. This is what he is healing from. He is healing from all of the obstacles he has thrown in his way by wearing this mask. He's trusting his intuition that it is safe for him to pick up this sword and reveal his truth to the Queen of Cups. Now, this is the final, it should be the final feeling of his heart space, but he's overfeeling, and we're going to look at that. But first, let's just take a look at this Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is clarified by this Princess of Wands. So this is what he's excited about, right? She's also clarifying this. This is who the messages are going to. This is who he can reveal himself to, finally. Remember, I told you his head probably wasn't going to be in alignment with this I'm not revealing my stuff thing. It's not. His heart is like, you must reveal. You must give this truth to your Queen of Cups. She is your all. She is the counterpart to your King of Cups energy, which he's constantly in. Now let's look at his overfeeling. Oh, he loves this card. This is the Knight of Pentacles. He is slow and steady, right? He's very slow, he's very steady, but he has a very solid offer. So it is one of those cards that is about being worth the wait. But he is understanding that because this is extensive clarification for this Eight of Wands in reverse from his headspace, that is what is taking him so long. He has this solid offer. He keeps stopping along the way, watering his horse, looking at the sky, marveling at the beauty of the earth, and plodding slowly towards Divine Feminine. And then we have union, because remember, Divine Feminine was feeling this Knight of Cups in reverse. Here's the Knight of Cups in reverse in Divine Masculine's heart space. So we have union. Not only is he plodding forward very slowly, he's refusing to express what is in his cup. This is what is coming so slowly. The material offer is there. We see the Eight of Pentacles. We see the Seven of Pentacles. We see the Pentacles, the earth energy. We see the material growth of wealth. We see that abundance. That's what's what's the material sludge that we're feeling, is him waiting for this material manifestation. But the hold up is because he's reluctant still to express his feelings. And that is what he has a lot of emotions about. All right, let's go back to Divine Feminine and take a look at her oracle messages and see what we can do to help her balance her energy so that she can come into union with Divine Masculine. She is in the light attributes right now of the Midas, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold and a delight in sharing life's riches. So right now she's got the Midas touch, right? Anything she puts her heart to is going to turn to gold. And this Queen of Swords energy that's in her headspace is definitely useful because she can use that strategizing, that clear-headed, direct, analytical aspects of the Queen of Swords to basically start to do this. Right now, Divine Feminine, you are in a very attractive state. Divine Masculine feels it, right? There's that Queen of Wands energy. You can attract abundance to you. If you have ideas about what you want to do for your career or applying your passions or whatever, now is the time. Anything you touch right now is going to turn to gold. So keep going, keep trying and see what happens, because you should expect a lot to come from that. You're being boosted in this energy. You are also in the energy of the mystic, where you are reveling in an intimate union with the divine. Now, this is not about Divine Masculine. This is about the divine, right? Whatever you believe in, that source energy, that spirit energy that guides you, you are reveling in your intimate union with that. That's that Four of Cups energy, which you had in head and heart space. You are in the intimate union of connection with spirit. And that is good, because that is how you come into union inside of yourself, right? Lord up in heaven. All right. If you watch me on Instagram, you know that I have issues with this card because it is a timing card. It is St. Nicholas and generosity. And I don't like timing cards because I personally don't like to get my hopes up for something that's going to happen, etc. But for you, maybe that's not as triggering. And for you, this could indicate something about the holiday seasons being very important in terms of this union, a coming together, etc. But it's really a command for you, and also just letting you know that you are being very supported right now by Saint Nicholas in generosity. So don't beat yourself up too much about breaking the silence and sending some kind of messages to your divine masculine. It's actually okay. It is good to be generous. Remember, if you want to experience generosity, then you should be generous, but be generous with yourself, Be very generous with yourself. That's very, very important. So don't be too worried about the timing, but this is the season of giving. It is a time also to receive. So make sure you're receiving that generosity just as much as you're giving it out. I am a vibrational being in a vibrational environment. You are, even in your physical expression of flesh, blood, and bone, a vibrational being, and everything you experience in your physical environment is vibrational. And it is only through your ability to translate vibration that you are able to understand your physical world at all. So, this is just a reminder to you that all of this that is around us that seems solid and material, it's just energy that's vibrating at different frequencies. That stand over there with my altar on it, that is the vibration of a nightstand. This card is the vibration of a card. My skin is the vibration of skin, and everything around us is vibrating. It is light, it is energy. And if that is the case, then your thoughts are the key to directing that light and energy. And if you don't know a lot about quantum physics, go start to learn about quantum physics, vibration, observational theory, things where it's clear that we do affect our environment, that how we look at the world really does reflect what we're intending to see back to us. This is just a reminder that if divine masculine is not vibrating in your environment right now, your thoughts are not vibrating in a place where divine masculine is in your environment, right? Divine feminine, this is emphasized. Look at the bigger picture. This is the full moon in Sagittarius. That can be a timing card, of course. We are in Sagittarius season until the 21st, when we then shift into the age of Aquarius, into that very new energy. And if you're seeing a lot of old things happening, it's no surprise we're seeing this completion, because what we are seeing is that this sadness, this waiting, this healing, this exhaustion, this lack mentality, all of this is coming to its completion. It will be fully completed in this cycle. So that is coming up for us. But make sure you are looking at the bigger picture here. Have gratitude for everything that is working out. Have gratitude for the smallest things. Start to get your mind off of the details of how, when, where, and focus more on the possibility, the potential of things happening. Look at the bigger picture. Divine Feminine, you got your generosity card. This is a time to give rather than take, okay? Give rather than take. Generosity. So this divine masculine is not a place to give. He's not. He's working on it. He's in his 9 of Wands energy. He's working on it. But his Knight of Cups is reversed, and you know it. He's not ready to give. So you give. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to keep over giving to him, and that's not balancing the scale. But that means be generous with yourself, be generous with others. Look to give and feel the joy of giving rather than taking from others. And then finally, deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. And I'm very, very strongly drawn. When this card came out, I actually saw it and I immediately thought divine feminine, retreat. Okay. Go back into silence, retreat. You can be generous in your heart space. You can be generous with compassion towards divine masculine, but he doesn't deserve to hear from you right now. He needs to be the one to speak. So retreat, replenish, and be held by spirit, divine feminine. Divine masculine. You're in the shadow attributes of the student energy, which is arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge and unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. Cut it out, bro. All right? Arrogance, emperor energy. Stubbornness, emperor energy. Unwillingness to translate the knowledge that you have. You come here, you get knowledge from these readings. I know you do. Start to translate that knowledge into action. It's one thing to know what you're supposed to do, and it's another thing to just sit there and not do it, right? Because you're afraid. You're only afraid because you don't have faith in yourself. And you need to do that work that is being talked about every day to be able to come into that place. So you need to be in the light traits of humility and devotion to knowledge and the openness to lifelong learning. I do think you think you're going to learn this and then, you'll get what you want. But this is a lifelong process. I say all the time, after we come into union with our counterpart, it's not like you're going to stop watching readings. You might for a minute, but you'll be back because you have to stay in union. And that's even more complicated because that's now the 3D manifestation, right? Right now it's just 5D. You can shut it out if you want. You can't shut out a 3D manifestation without causing a lot of issues. So it becomes more complicated when you're together. This is a lifelong journey. You chose each other to have this journey. Yet here, it's happening. Storyteller energy. You're in the light attributes of this, which is the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. So, a storyteller is also telling stories, speaking things into existence. And I see here we have music, we have writing, we have the creative expression. So you're in these light attributes right now. Take the opportunity to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Saint Mother Teresa is here to help you in your activist energy. Take action, divine masculine. We're waiting on you, right? We are just waiting on you. And Mother Teresa is here to support you in being an activist for this union, in bringing it to its fulfillment. Divine masculine, so interesting. Divine feminine. Can't get the card. I'm a vibrational being in a vibrational environment. Divine feminine got that. Divine masculine, you've got, I am a vibrational transmitter and receiver. In every moment, you are broadcasting a very specific vibrational signal that is instantly being understood and answered. And immediately, your present and future circumstances begin changing in response to the signal you are projecting. The entire universe right now is being affected by what you are offering. So this vibrational being over here in her vibrational environment is receiving the vibrational broadcasts that you've been transmitting, which means if you've been transmitting self-doubt, insecurity, fear, that's what she's picking up. And what is that going to make her feel about you? Doubt, insecurity, fear. So you must change your transmission. You must tune in to your heart space and stop transmitting these negative things that you're worried about so that divine feminine is receiving what you want her to receive, not what you don't want her to receive. Have faith in your dreams, divine masculine. Stop doubting that you can be this divine masculine that you don't deserve. There's all of this worthiness stuff that's just built up inside of you, and you project it onto divine feminine, and it makes her feel that you don't think she's worthy, that you don't think she can handle you, or that there's something lacking in her. You're just perpetuating this cycle, Instead of doing that, transmit the confidence and love you feel for yourself. Absorb that that is how she feels about you and start to feel that. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. And this is emphasized. You are birthing something new here. And guess what? It hurts. I've had a child. It's extraordinarily painful experience. It really takes everything within you to withstand. And you want to give up right in the middle when everybody asks for the epidural shot. They think they're going to be able to get through it without it. And everyone asks for it. Right after that moment of extreme pain, you start to come down. You start to come down and you start to actually birth that creation. And it's finally here. And it was worth the struggle. It was worth the pain. You are in that moment of extreme exhaustion and pain. And if you can hold on and not numb yourself, you will see this transformation. You will see this rebirth that you are desiring. Divine Masculine, a new romantic cycle begins. This card was in reverse today, and I feel that that is because this new romantic cycle depends on you birthing this new creation, this new idea. And that was seconded, and trusting in yourself that you can wield that Ace of Swords and wield that truth and approach Divine Feminine with a truth that she will lovingly accept. I'm happy to see bottom of the deck for the couple that you are both now in the lover energy, in the light attributes. You were actually in the shadow attributes the other day, and you have moved into the light, which is great passion and devotion and unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So no longer are you having an obsessive passion that harms others and self-destructive devotion. You are both moving into a place of unbridled appreciation of someone or something that is not self-destructive. Your guardian angel is here to tell you to move. Now, this can be dance, this can be exercise, it can be basic like that. It can also be movement towards each other. You can see how this energy in this card, she's moving towards the light. My desires and beliefs are only thoughts. Your desires and beliefs are just thoughts. Ask and it is given. You ask through your attention, through your wanting, through your desire. That is the asking. Whether you desire it to happen or you desire it not to happen, you are asking. So your desires and beliefs are only thoughts, and the ones that you focus on and pay attention to and feed detail to, that is what you are going to be given. If you focus and put your attention and detail into the things that you want, that is what you will receive. If you're focused on the doubt and the worry, nothing will come of this situation. The void, of course, moon. If you are focused on doubt, then nothing will come of this situation. But this card is here to remind you that that fear that you have, that this won't happen, the thing that you're both concerned about, like, we're not going to be together, nothing will come of that. Nothing will come of those fears. Turn your thoughts to having what you want. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Integration is when two things become integrated, right? Become one. It's awakening to one another. It is going to be a new way of being as you come together. Okay, that is the end of this general energy check-in. I will, of course, be back tomorrow to check in on the energies again and see what happens, because remember, healing is not linear. It is up, it is down, it is back, it is forth. I see there are a couple people watching. If you want to ask me one question, I could pull a card for you. Let me see what deck I will use. Let's see. I see what is coming towards me in love. Well, really, this reading kind of probably clarified that. And I do see you saying that it did resonate. All right, I pulled out my Angel Tarot. So if there are any questions, I will answer them. And if not, I will just pull one card to close the reading. The Three of Pentacles. Definitely can't pronounce this angel's name, but this is God hearing lamentations, mental force, protects against sorrow and illness. So the Three of Pentacles is a card of working on the self. It's a card of uniting that cleric and that craftsman. So that's the intuition and the outer expression. And it's a card about continuing to do the work so that you can move into a place where you can finally receive your 10 of Pentacles. All right, everybody, have a great day today. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube live stream, my first general check-in. I'll see you here tomorrow morning. Take care.